everyone, it's Enjoy English School. I'm Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
And welcome to our Spotlight on Taiwan article, Yanshui Fengpao Fireworks Festival.
没错，今天我们要讲的主题呢，就是盐水蜂炮。今天是2月22号，那2月25号，你就会感受到盐水蜂炮的魅力了。
So, how fireworks cured a city and became a Taiwanese tradition is our subtitle today.
我们今天的副标题呢，就是说 How fireworks cured a city. 治疗好一个城市，好，把它治愈了。OK， 就像有病，然后治疗好了那种感觉。And became a Taiwanese tradition. 那自此之后呢，就变成了一个在台湾的一个传统跟习俗哦。你会注意到这个地方盐水蜂炮 Fireworks Festival， 很少我们会看到名词加名词的时候，前面那个名词会是复数的，但是Fireworks 几乎你看到的都会是复数的东西去表达，所以 Fireworks Festival 就是烟火秀的意思。
Pick up that highlighter and highlight our word fireworks here. Fireworks is always plural. 你可以写下来, this is always plural. We're going to learn a few words about this today, so we want to pay attention to them as we see them.
没错，特别注意一下 Fireworks 通常会加上这个 S 来表达这个鞭炮的这种感觉哦。
All right, let's get ready for paragraph 1. All right, welcome back to Enjoy English School, and we're looking at paragraph 1. I know you know what this is, but I'll tell you how I learned about our fireworks festival. I remember being in America and hearing about some of the world's weirdest festivals, and this was on the top of the list.
Oh, really?
Yes.
天哪！老师刚刚讲说啊，事实上他说我知道你们知道这个盐水蜂炮，可是我当初听到的这种东西的时候，是还在美国的时候，然后当时有看很多世界各个地方那种奇妙的节庆，这个居然会是里面最奇妙的一个。
Yeah, when I knew I wanted to leave America and live in a new country, I wanted to go to a place that was very different. And a place where you've wanted to get shot with fireworks because it was lucky and everybody was doing it. I was thinking, yeah, that sounds like a good time.
哇，很符合老师的个性啊！老师就想尝试一些疯狂的事情。当如果说今天有一个地方，他说我们喜欢被鞭炮炸，然后被炸到的时候还觉得自己很幸运，然后老师觉得这太棒了，一定要来台湾这样。
对， I was thinking it's gonna be really different, and that's what I wanted. So, I didn't know about anything like this. Let's go into our first sentence. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to get hit by 1,000 bottle rockets?
哇，第一句话一开始就很有这种爆炸性，对不对？他就说了，这里面他提到说这个 bottle rockets 指的事情就是指那种冲天炮。他就说，你是不是曾经想过说，如果你被1000支冲天炮击中，会是什么感觉？天哪，一定吓死了，对不对？ Have you ever wondered？ 好，这个说法很多时候是问你过往的经验，你有没有想过这件事情 ？What it would feel like to get hit by 1,000 bottle rockets. 你有没有想过这种感觉呢？
So, look at the word feel. 写下来一个 S, 然后擦掉。我们不要第三人称 here because it would feel like. This is not present tense, so 我们不要说 it would feels like. That's incorrect. Look at the word bottle. We have TT. Usually in English, a lot of foreigners will not say bottle rockets. When we have more than one T, the sound comes out like a D, bottle rocket.
这个地方这个 bottle 这个地方特别注意 TT 的声音，它会把它念得很像，有点像 D 的声音，变 bottle， 这样的话比较好念 bottle rockets.
Our next sentence says, if so, that means if yes 的话, you might want to check out the Yanshui Fengpao Fireworks Festival in Tainan.
Yeah, 如果你觉得这样感觉蛮酷，就像 Chris 老师一样觉得哇太酷了吧，然后呢你就会想去看一看。If so, you might want to check out the 盐水蜂炮 Fireworks Festival in Tainan. 你一定会想参与一下台南的盐水蜂炮节。
To check something out, we can do this at a library, and that means to borrow a book. But here we're not borrowing any books at a library. When we check something out, that means to look at it, to explore it.
没错，在这里的话 check something out or check out 什么什么东西的话，指的就是去了解 to know a little about something.
Our next sentence says, during this unique festival, there are many floats and festivities but the most famous part is the fireworks.
好，接下来我们看这句话 During this unique festival这边特别小心的话，这个地方它叫 unique。如果说今天呢 unique 前面有一个的话，那千万不要因为它是 u 带头的，它就写成 n， 因为 u 的话它是不是母音带头的发音哦。During this unique festival， 在这个独特的一个节庆当中呢 ，there are many floats。Floats 指的是花车 and festivities 指的是节庆活动，有花车有节庆活动 but the most famous part is the fireworks 当然最重要的主秀就是我们这个盐水蜂炮的这个炮啦，对不对？
小心 don't say parts are here. So we have the most famous part is. We have a many parts. But 我们再讲到一个特别的一个事情And then we say fireworks. Remember, fireworks is always plural. So this is not wrong. 我们不要说 parts are fireworks. 不对。
所以这里的话特别注意一下 is part 的话还是用单数的 is the fireworks. Fireworks 一定用复数哦。
Thousands of bottle rockets are fired at brave participants who stand right in front of the explosive bottle rockets on purpose.
好，接下来他就告诉你了。Thousands of bottle rockets are fired. 好，它就万箭齐发那种感觉，有没有？非常非常多这个数天之的冲天炮射向哪里呢 ？At brave participants. Participants 这个字指的就是 people who participate in an event. 好，参与这项活动、参与这项盛事的人，他们要怎样？很勇敢的这些参与者呢 ？Who stand right in front of explosive bottle rockets on purpose.On purpose 就是故意，这些人都是故意站在这些鞭炮前面等着被他们炸的。Explosive 在这里指的是形容词，就是有爆炸性的、会爆炸的这些冲天炮。
That's exactly right, Anthony. Explosive is an adjective, and we can see that because this word ends in IVE. Usually when our word ends in IVE, we have an adjective. 串起来，然后写 ADJ.
这边是形容词。
And look at the word fired at. I want you to circle this. We're going to say fired at another way in paragraph 2, and we want to remember it. Let's get ready for paragraph 2. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. We're talking about our fireworks festival. Let's start. Paragraph 2. How did this unique festival start?
好，接下来第二段的第一句话说，那到底最开始的时候为什么会有这样子的传统呢 ？How did this unique festival start? 那我也很想问这样的问题呢。
In the late 19th century, Yanshui was a busy port city.
好，接下来告诉你了，盐水当初的历史哦。In the late 19th century， 大概18XX年，已经靠近快19XX的那段时间呢。盐水 was a busy port city。好，它当初是一个非常繁华的一个港都。
That's right. Now, port just means a place where lots of boats come and go, and it's also the same word that talks about the holes in your computer, maybe your USB port.
我们的那个 port 就是指连接副，对，你要插 USB 的时候，你要插进那个连接副里头，那个也叫做一个 port， 叫 USB port.
Our next sentence says, at the time, many residents were suffering from a plague.A
plague 指的是当时有那种瘟疫啊等等的 OK at the time many residents 当初在那个地方的居民呢 were suffering from a plague 当时正是瘟疫大流行的时候
So residence starts with R-E but we don't say residence This is a short E residence Plague has a special pronunciation There's no U-E sound at the end 划一个叉叉 and then trading 不要说 plague 什么 Now, plague is an old Greek word that means to hit. When we have a plague, that means you have a disease that usually gives you a fever, but it also talks about a large number of bugs or even frogs gathering in one place and usually eating all your fruits and vegetables. And then you don't have food to eat. That's not good.
没错，有时候蝗灾啊，还有虫灾啊等等，也可以叫做 plague 瘟疫啊。除了包含是像是疾病之外，还有机会会看到那种蝗灾，那种很多的蝗虫过境，有没有？那个也叫做 plague。In
order to drive out the disease, locals paraded a statue of a god around the city and set off lots of firecrackers.
好，所以为了要去跟疾病对抗，对不对？ In order to drive out the disease， 为了要去赶走这样的疾病，把这些瘴疠啊全部都赶走。Locals 指的是 local residents， 好，这些当地的居民 paraded a statue of a god around the city and set off lots of firecrackers. 因为我们像在台湾有看过这种妈祖绕境，对不对？它的话也是 parade 这个字就是游行。那这边当这个及物动词使用，后面是 paraded a statue of a god， 他就拿了一个这个神的雕像呢，开始绕了整个这个城市祈福吧。And set off lots of firecrackers， 好，就开始点了非常非常多的鞭炮去把这个瘴疠给赶走。
Now, in our sentence here, parade is a verb, but parades are also nouns. When we parade, that's a verb, it means we walk in a group on the streets and we want attention. This isn't like we're walking around, we want people to look at us. And usually this is for something positive. If you want to say, hey, we're in the streets and we're angry, we'll say it's a protest. P-R-O-T-E-S-T.A parade, a protest.
Yeah, 所以 protest 就是呢，你很生气，让大家注意到一件事情，嘿，我们很生气，我们应该讲这个就是抗议行动。但是 parade 的话是希望引起大家的注意说，我们有这样的事情，很多时候是游行啊等等，这种游行的话本身是为了一件好的事情游行的，在这边的话就是希望能够把这些瘟疫给赶走。
And we finally saw our third word to talk about fireworks today. Our title says fireworks. That's like all kind of
烟火啊
Yeah, 对, they're all called fireworks. Then we had in paragraph 1, bottle rockets. Those shoot in the air. Rocket just means to shoot in the air. And finally, we have a firecracker. Firecrackers are countable nouns, so 你可以说 a firecracker. Those are only on the ground, and they're usually smaller than some of the bigger fireworks.
原来你看光是鞭炮还有分不同类型。如果说今天是 fireworks， 比较偏向是总称，它可以讲烟火、鞭炮类的东西都算。但是说这边的话，我们第一段里面学到了 bottle rockets， 是指那种冲天炮往天空中飞的，对不对？现在我们看到的第二段里面提到 set off lots of firecrackers. Firecrackers 你可以说 a firecracker， 或者是 set off lots of firecrackers， 单数复数都可以。它用 set off 来这种释放鞭炮，放鞭炮的放，我们可以用 set off 来表达。
Shortly afterwards, the disease seemed to go away.
然后呢，你看看不久之后 shortly afterwards, the disease seemed to go away. 一句说疾病就这样消失了，好像真的有效成功了。
All right, so just before we go to break, please look at the sentence before, and we have set off. Circle set off, and then draw a line to fired at in paragraph 1. We can say the bottle rockets are fired at, or the bottle rockets are set off at brave participants. They mean mostly the same thing.
哇，所以你看老师刚刚在上一段预告说这个 are fired at 第一段里面的 are fired at 后面还会碰到类似的，对不对？我们现在在第二段里面找到了 set off lots of firecrackers， 这个 set off 也可以代替在第一段里面把第一段最后这句话变成thousands of bottle rockets are set off at brave participants， 这样也是很好的写法哦。
Let's get ready to take a quick break. All right, we're back with more Enjoy English School. We're starting paragraph 3 on our Yanshui Fireworks Festival article. Many years later, people began using bottle rockets instead of firecrackers for the festival.
好，最后一段他就这样说了 Many years later 多年之后呢 People began using bottle rockets 就是我们讲的冲天炮 Instead of firecrackers for the festival 所以 instead of 后面所接的呢就是我们不要用的东西于是乎他们就把这个冲天炮用来取代了原本的这些一般的鞭炮来作为这个节庆之用 for the festival
Let's look at the word instead of, and this is really kind of annoying, honestly. When we use instead of, 那个后面的东西是不要的. But we can also say instead. And when we use instead of, 不要加介系词的话，那个前面的东西是不要的. Please be careful with this. Honestly, when my students start learning instead and instead of, I only let them use one at a time. And then slowly we'll do the other one, and then they can use both. But I recommend, 我建议, pick one and use that all the time. And then after you're used to it, 你习惯了, then try something else.
Yeah, 我觉得这样做比较好，不会容易搞混哦。
Really easy to confuse. Our next sentence says, more recently, large platforms have been used to launch the bottle rockets.
好，接下来他就说了 more recently 啊，更近的时候呢，对吧？就是距离现在更近一点的时间呢 large platforms have been used to launch the bottle rockets 他们会使用一些高台啊，那种巨型的那种大的高台去发射这些冲天炮哈。那个 platforms have been used 这个地方是被使用，所以你会听到 z 的声音哦。
Okay, circle the word platform and then now use your finger here. You put your finger over F-O-R-M-S. Does that look like a word you know? Yeah, it looks like the word plate. So a platform and a plate are both big, flat things that we can put something else on. A platform is a kind of floor that is a little bit higher off the ground so you can see farther. You can see more distant things, to use the words that we used earlier this month. A platform and a plate are both big and flat.
Yeah, 所以在这边的话，你把那个 forms 遮掉之后，你会看到这个 P-L-A-T 好，如果再加一个 E 的话就变成 plate 就是盘子，就是平的那种东西。那如果说今天讲到 platform 就是指比一般地面高一点的那种高台，这种高台的话可以让你在上面可以看得更远，这些高台被拿来用来发射这些冲天炮。
The word launch means to throw something with a lot of force. 你超级用力. And we can also talk about launching a ball, although usually today we talk about launching rockets. Interestingly, we can also talk about launching a boat, which means the boat starts to move. But 在这边的时候, when we launch a boat, it does not move quickly.
在这边的话特别注意 launch a boat 代表是开始去启用这个船，那我们不是说是用这个船然后它射出去这样不太一样Goodbye 这样没有不一样哦。好
Our next sentence says, these platforms resemble or look like giant beehives, which is how the festival got its current name.
好，所以要告诉你说 these platforms resemble means look like 好，他们这些高台看起来非常非常像 giant beehives 非常像那种巨型的蜂巢，所以为什么它叫做盐水蜂炮？为什么跟这个蜜蜂有关呢？是因为它的那个高台的感觉，那种发射台看起来真的太像这个蜂巢了，所以他们就叫盐水蜂炮。
If you feel brave enough to take on a bunch of exploding bottle rockets, check out the Yanshui Fengpao Fireworks Festival.
Wow, 所以他就说了 if you feel brave enough to take on, usually when you take on something, that means to challenge. So to take on a challenge, 就变成是你去接受一个挑战。什么挑战呢？ A bunch of exploding bottle rockets. 如果你可以面对一群冲天炮不会害怕的话，你去挑战一下 Check out the 盐水蜂炮 Fireworks Festival. 赶快去参加一下盐水蜂炮节的活动吧。
When I see the word take on, do you know what I think of? You know what song I think of?
Which one?
You don't know? Take on me.
Oh, I
right?
didn't know that one.
You don't know this song? Oh, my God. We need to take a break so we can listen to this song. Let's get ready for vocab review. right, it is time for vocab review, and our first phrase is a unique festival.
A unique festival 就是那种独特的节庆。
Number 2, we have an adjective. 它结为 IVE, explosive.
Explosive, IVE 结尾，形容词 explosive 就是有爆炸的，会爆炸的。
Number 3, we have on purpose.
On purpose 就是指故意的做什么事情。
它的相反就是 by accident.
By accident 当然指的是意外，这不是我预期之内的事哦。
Our next word, a plague.
A plague 指的是瘟疫，当然不只是疾病，有可能像老师讲的这种蝗虫过境啊，也是一种 plague.
And lastly today, a disease.
A disease 指的就是疾病咯。
All right, we will be back tomorrow with more of our fireworks festival. Catch us then for Enjoy English School. I am Chris Gorski.
I'm Antony.
We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.